Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 greatest animated movies of all time. For this list, we'll be looking at the absolute best feature-length films that animation has to offer. To be considered, works must be entirely animated. What's your favorite animated film? Let us know if it made the list in the comments. Number 20. The Little Mermaid. At a time when Disney films weren't surefire hits, this classic tale had a lot to prove just to stay afloat. But rest assured, Ariel has become part of our world in more ways than one.
Part of that world.
She has spunk, she has agency, but most of all, she's allowed to have fun. With some added help from an earnest romance and a downright iconic soundtrack, The Little Mermaid rode the waves all the way to the start of the Disney Renaissance.
Look at her! On legs! On human legs! My nerves are shot. This is a catastrophe!
That's right. Ariel's under-the-sea adventures were so beloved that they helped resurrect the company's struggling animation branch. If that's not proof of the film's quality, we don't know what is. Number 19. How to Train Your Dragon. Better take notes because this title is no joke. After all, if the movie didn't sell the bond between Hiccup and Toothless, there'd be no story. Thankfully, their relationship doesn't just take flight, it positively soars, both literally and figuratively.
That's my fault. Yeah, I'm on it.
Position 4.
3.
Their wholesome dynamic could easily anchor a 2-hour movie all on its own. And this story is populated with lovable characters, breathtaking action, and more heart than it knows what to do with.
They've killed hundreds of us!
And we've killed thousands of them. They defend themselves, that's all.
The best part is that, despite its medieval setting, this movie refuses to adhere to a classic formula. The end result is a harrowing tale about friendship destined to be told for generations, and not just among Vikings. Number 18. Chicken Run. Admittedly, a group of anthropomorphic chickens mounting a prison break is a pretty weird pitch for a family trip to the theater. And yet, that same kookiness is exactly why Chicken Run sprints past the finish line with ease. The slapstick humor just never gets old, especially when delivered by this outstanding voice cast. But, impressively, its story hasn't gone cold either. If anything, the social commentary is fresher now than when it first came out of the fryer in 2000.
So laying eggs all your life and then getting plucked, stuffed and roasted is good enough for you, is it? It's a living.
Story aside, this is practically required viewing for its technical merits alone. Chicken Run's impeccable use of claymation clucked a path to become the highest-grossing animated stop-motion film of all time. Those kinds of achievements speak for themselves.
Grass. Exactly, grass. It's always greener on the other side.
Number 17. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. The Caped Crusader has one of the most legendary animated catalogs out there, so it's no surprise that a feature film based on all that is a landmark superhero movie.
I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy.
Mask of the Phantasm encompasses the absolute best parts of the Batman mythos in a way that demands to be seen on the big screen. And it manages to do that despite a tight production schedule. Fittingly, Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy have never been better as Joker and Bruce Wayne, which, given their esteemed resumes, is really saying something. It's practically a sin that this movie bombed at the box office. But at least modern reviews rightfully hail it as one of the greatest Batman films ever made, animated or not.
I always feared you would become that which you fought against. You walk the edge of that abyss every night. But you haven't fallen in, and I thank heaven for that.
Number 16. Shrek. At first glance, this fairy tale retelling follows the formula to a T. Storm the castle, slay the dragon, get the girl. Except, that's only half the story. Perhaps the biggest revision is that Shrek himself is no Prince Charming, like, at all.
Wait, listen. You think that Shrek is your true love?
Well, yes.
You think Shrek is your true love?
So instead of following the trend, this brilliant deconstruction reinvents the formula without ever fully abandoning it. It's a tour de force of creativity and wit, all pulled together by an endlessly quotable script and some career-defining voice work. Much like Ogres and Onions, there's a lot of layers to Shrek. Like, for example, some instantly iconic musical numbers. Though, Shrek 2 definitely takes the cake on that one.
Hit it! All right, big fella, let's crash this party.
Number 15, The Nightmare Before Christmas. For the low cost of one trip to Halloween Town, this irreverent musical gives you 2 holidays for the price of one.
My Christmas is filled with laughter and joy and this. My Sandy Claus outfit.
One part spooky, one part cheerful, and all parts absurd, there's truly nothing else like The Nightmare Before Christmas. But it's all the better for it. The sheer amount of creativity on display is staggering, especially as the script weaves disparate threads into a perfectly wrapped gift under the tree. The songs are infectious, the world brims with life, and the tonal mashup works better than it has any right to.
The next time you get the urge to take over someone else's holiday, I'd listen to her. She's the only one who makes any sense around this insane asylum.
It seems that, alongside Santa's bag of gifts, Jack Skellington also carries a film that's fun, weird, and never once apologizes for it. Number 14, Ratatouille. This titular dish being made by an actual rat sounds like a bad joke. Thankfully, there's nothing remotely eye-rolling about Remy's time in the kitchen. Indeed, he prepares a full-course meal brimming with optimism, character, and love.
I know who I am! Why do I need you to tell me? Why do I need to pretend?
But you don't, Remy. You never did.
Better yet, it comes with a side of hilarity and a glass of pathos to help wash it all down. Pixar is known for their emotional storytelling, and few moments compare to Remy and Linguini thawing a jaded critic's heart with a single bite. The critics all agree too. If Ego's reaction is any indication, Ratatouille is an easy 5 stars.
I will be returning to Gusto soon, hungry for more.
Number 13, Pinocchio. He may be wooden at first, but this Disney icon has all the heart of a real boy. The clear effort put into making Pinocchio a living, breathing character, even when he wasn't technically one, grounds the fantastical narrative with raw emotion.
Prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish, and someday you will be a real boy.
A real boy!
There's just something inherently relatable about someone discovering what it means to be human, especially since the script tackles the idea with remarkable care and nuance. Plus, this movie introduced us to When You Wish Upon a Star, which is plain iconic in of itself.
Your dreams come true.
At the end of the day, Pinocchio isn't Disney's first film, and it's far from their last. But our nose won't grow when we say that it's easily one of the most impactful. Number 12, My Neighbor Totoro. The most striking takeaway from Hayao Miyazaki's film is that, refreshingly, it gets quiet. In other words, My Neighbor Totoro is elegantly simple, almost deceptively so. In fact, the beguiling tale of youth is so immersive that it's easy to forget how many rules it breaks.
Totoro? That's it! I bet your name's Totoro, isn't it?
Many traditional maxims of storytelling are gone. In their place is an honest, somber, and gorgeous portrayal of childhood that has to be seen to be truly understood.
What happened?
Well, I'm not sure, but I could have sworn that I saw both the girls up in the treetop laughing.
That might not be as crazy as you think. Have a look.
Suffice it to say, the moving message comes across loud and clear. Just like for Mei and her sister Satsuki, Totoro's legacy extends far beyond the confines of a movie. Number 11, Sleeping Beauty.
You poor simple fools.
Despite its name, Princess Aurora's story launched with a roar, not a yawn. Though that's hardly a shock, given the intense passion that went into making it behind the scenes. After successfully releasing several bona fide classics, Walt Disney wanted to craft a movie that would stand above the rest. That goal is on full display in Sleeping Beauty, which has one of the most visually arresting color palettes of any Disney film. Add in an amazing dress, a gorgeous song, and some help from Charles Perrault's classic fairy tale, and it's obvious why this is as classic as it gets. Aurora may take a snooze, but Sleeping Beauty's timeless charm makes viewers want to do anything but.
Why, Fauna, what's the matter, dear? Oh, I just love happy endings. Yes.
Number 10. WALL-E. Show, don't tell is a fundamental rule of storytelling, and this Pixar flick takes that idea to the stars and back. After all, what its opening act accomplishes with such minimal dialogue is nothing short of jaw-dropping. However, its ambition doesn't stop there. Each frame of the stunning, picturesque visuals push the limits of what animation can accomplish, especially the scenes in space. Honestly, you could play the entire movie on mute and still be enthralled. Luckily, there's an equally stellar story afoot, one that effortlessly weaves in ideas about love, consumerism, and humanity. At the end of the day, there's just no doubt about it. WALL-E is out of this world in more ways than one.
Now that Earth has been restored to a life-sustaining status, by golly, we can begin Operation Recolonize.
Number 9. Akira. This film's influence in bringing anime to a worldwide audience alone is worth a place in history.
お前もそこにいたっけな。いいんだよ、金田。俺はもうお前に助けてもらわなくってもいいんだよ。
Of course, it doesn't hurt that it's an emotional thrill ride with an unprecedented legacy. To this day, countless action and sci-fi films pay homage to its famous Akira slide shot. Not many movies, period, have a reputation like that, let alone ones that traverse borders and genres in the process. Not just that, Akira infuses its exciting action with a lot of meaning.
どこにでも出てきてボス面しやがる。おめえもボスになったんだろ？この瓦礫の山でよ。
At its core, it's an intimate exploration of the cost of power in an ever-changing world. In the process of telling that story, it just so happened to change the world a little itself. Number 8. Beauty and the Beast. For all its successes, animation has always fought against the misconception that it's a lesser medium. So, it said a lot when Beauty and the Beast was nominated for the Best Picture Oscar. After all, no other animated movie had ever achieved that feat. There were no asterisks, no footnotes. It was simply honored as one of the best, full stop.
By the way, thank you for saving my life.
You're welcome.
Even today, there's no denying the magic of the film. The visuals are charming, the score is unforgettable, and the message is practically timeless. But the most impressive part of Beauty and the Beast's acclaimed legacy is that it deserves every single bit of it. At this point, it really is a wonderful tale as old as time.
Beauty and the Beast.
Number 7. The Incredibles. If everyone's super, no one is. But somehow, the Parr family continues to stand out as a downright heroic example of the genre at its best. Mostly because, beneath the spandex, it's not really about crime fighting at all. Instead, it authentically explores a midlife crisis inside a traditional nuclear family. Well, traditional, except for the fact that they can actually go nuclear. Yeah, to put it lightly, those fight scenes are totally wicked.
That was totally wicked!
Alongside the fantastic music, nuanced character arcs, and the scene-stealing Edna mode, this film's legacy has stretched on long enough to make even Elastigirl jealous. it's safe to say that The Incredibles is more than incredible.
I don't know what will happen.
Hey, we're superheroes. What can happen?
Number 6. Fantasia. The only worthy descriptor for this anthology film is enchanting. And yet, even that doesn't do Disney's triumph justice. For one, the entire piece almost solely relies on the quality of the music. Conductor Leopold Sokolsky understood the assignment, bringing an untouchable soundtrack that needs no introduction to life. Of course, the animators had to somehow match the score's beauty, which they miraculously did and then some. Made up of 8 animated segments introduced in live action, the final product crackles with pure creative spirit in every single corner of every single frame. The film has already enjoyed over 80 years of enduring fame, and there's no reason to believe it can't make it another 82. Number 5. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Miles Morales knows better than anyone that with great power comes great responsibility. So both he and the movie overall took some major leaps of faith. And by doing so, they found the man inside of Spider-Man.
That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
What's up, danger?
Sure, the action's top-notch and the animation is legit stunning, but it's really Miles' personal growth that saves the day. He's no Peter Parker, and he's no Gwen Stacy, but that's more than okay. The multiversal shenanigans prove that Miles can still become the hero he never thought he could be. His final confrontation with Kingpin works specifically because it culminates the journey of a kid who just so happened to get spider powers. That story is arguably the film's greatest strength.
You ever hear the shoulder touch?
What?
Hey.
Number 4. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's no hyperbole to say the entire animation industry is indebted to Snow White taking a bite of that poisoned apple.
Don't let the wish grow cold.
Oh, I feel strange.
What's all the more impressive is that this movie was Disney's very first animated feature-length film ever. Not that you'd be able to tell, since the incredible hand-drawn animation and age-old fairy tale themes hold up to this day. It's simply a beautiful story that is exquisitely told with breathtaking visuals, and you can't ask for anything better than that. Disney sure didn't, using Snow White's unprecedented success to kickstart a whole generation of animated classics. When it came to replicating this movie's impact, you could say the apple didn't fall very far from the tree. Number 3. The Lion King. From the moment The Lion King's stirring opening vocals begin, it's clear that audiences are in for something special. The sheer beauty in that number alone is incomparable, which is why it's all the more gratifying that the entire film is like that. It's obviously richly drawn, but it's also simply rich in every sense of the word. It deftly handles tragedy, humor, and personal growth with a rare mastery of the craft that make anyone say Hakuna Matata.
What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze.
After all, there's not many films that can leave audiences both humming an upbeat tune and wiping away tears. Simba couldn't wait to be king as a child, and if you ask us, he's ascended the throne of all-time greatness. Number 2. Toy Story. This 1995 movie didn't just reach for the stars, it became one. Now, there's no denying that the Toy Story 3 sequel had us in tears.
But the thing that makes Woody special is he'll never give up on you. Ever. He'll be there for you, no matter what.
But that's largely because of the strong foundation that the franchise's first film built. Woody's debut rodeo doesn't coast on the merits of its concept, instead exploring the emotional implications of being left behind. Even though they're wood and plastic, the movie never treats the toys as anything less than real characters. By doing so, it somehow, some way, personifies the indescribable sense of imagination. Toy Story goes to infinity and beyond, and reminds us that we'll always have a friend in Woody, Buzz, and the others.
To infinity and beyond!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Spirited Away.
I want you to know my real name. It's Chihiro.
Chihiro, what a pretty name. You take good care of it.
I will.
There's simply nothing that matches the riveting combination of wonder and fear conveyed in Hayao Miyazaki's anime spectacle. The way it brilliantly takes advantage of the visual medium turns it into less of a film and more of a work of art. After all, the gorgeous visuals often look like a moving talking canvas brought to life. That flawless aesthetic helps the fluid story communicate the coming-of-age experience in a way nothing else ever has.
Once you've met someone, you never really forget them. It just takes a while for your memories to return.
It's by and large Miyazaki's magnum opus, if not the pinnacle of the entire industry to date. Spirited Away is more than a great movie. It's a pure masterpiece, plain and simple. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.